all love to grill in the summer, but man, some of those favorites are just not good for my waistline or yours.
No, or anyone's really.
Or anyone's really.
Now, we have the nutrition myth buster, Jonny Bowden. He is here to help us up our game and not up our inches. Thank you for being here.
I'm delighted to be here with you guys.
All right, so
I'm going to save you from, I'm going to tell you how to do damage control on your grilling season.
Okay.
And you know what? Here's the interesting part. You guys were talking about it from the point of view of waistline. I'm actually less concerned with the inches in the waistline in the foods than I am with what's going on under the hood, with inflammation and all of the things that lead up to diabetes and heart disease and all the stuff we're trying to prevent. And those can be actually handled without giving up your favorite foods, but with preparing them a little bit differently. The real damage that we do during these grilling seasons isn't so much the calories. It's not so much the meat. It's the quality of it. And it's the fact that we grill it in the wrong oils. We use these inflammatory vegetable oils that we've been told are healthy, and they're not. And we can actually do such damage control on our grills by simply making a healthy marinade and lowering the heat. There's like 3 steps. Don't use the vegetable oils. Use, I'm going to tell you what I think you should use, really healthy oils like palm oil. Don't use vegetable oils. Lower the heat slightly because that changes everything from the point of view of cancer. And number 3, use real healthy meats like grass-fed. And then you can eat all the stuff you want. You want to use spices in the marinade. When I wrote this book, Smart Fat, I wrote it with a heart specialist named Dr. Stephen Masley, who also happens to be a chef, trained at the Four Seasons. And we talked about this, and he said, you know, we have a medicine cabinet in our spice rack. These things are antioxidants. They're anti-inflammatory. And when you add them to a great oil like palm oil, and you put it on the foods and marinate it, lower the heat, you don't create all of these carcinogenic compounds that cause all the damage. So I know we all don't want to gain the weight, but we also don't want the inflammation that leads to heart disease. And we can do something about that by making a healthy marinade with a good oil, not with these white vegetable oils that everybody told us was healthy and aren't, and by using a lot of spices and lowering the heat slightly.
Okay, so give us an example, because I think people aren't really familiar with palm oil, and maybe they're starting to realize that the regular vegetable oils aren't as good as we thought, and then they think olive oil, but people worry about olive oil burning.
Olive oil is great. I use olive oil as an example, and if you don't, here's the interesting thing about olive oil. The extra virgin, which is the healthiest from the point of view of all the stuff that's in it, actually doesn't stand up to heat very well. So if you're going to use it for barbecuing, don't use extra virgin. Use virgin or even regular olive oil. That will stand up to heat a little better. It doesn't have all those wonderful compounds that you get when you eat it cold, like on a salad. But man, it is a good oil. It's not inflammatory, and it's wonderful. And same thing with palm. Palm's actually the olive oil of the rest of the world. Asia, Africa, this is the most popular oil in the world. But in America, it's got this undeserved bad reputation because they think that it's farmed in a way that hurts the environment, which is true in some countries, not in Malaysia. And they think, oh, it's a saturated fat. Well, I've spent the last 10 years telling the world that we were wrong about saturated fat. There are good, healthy saturated fats. Palm's an example. Coconut oil is an example. Grass-fed butter is an example. Those are the ones you want to use because this stuff makes us inflamed, and inflammation gives us heart disease and every other chronic disease that we don't want to have.
Where do I get palm oil? In a soup?
Everywhere. First of all, it's in a million different products, but you can get it at any Whole Foods store. Red palm oil is a big deal now. 85% of our palm oil comes from Malaysia, so you can be assured that it's sustainably farmed. And the reason, here's the thing, why is this red and this is white? It's red because it's loaded with nutrients like, you've heard of carotenoids because you heard of beta-carotene. Beta-carotene is a carotenoid. There's 600 of them. There's a lot of them in here. That's why it's red. It's also got tocotrienols, which protect the brain. So people should know about this. I put it here because you can make such a healthy mayonnaise for your pasta salads and your potato salads. You can lower inflammation immediately by getting rid of these oils and making your own mayonnaise with organic butter, and palm oil. Mix them together, put in some spices, oil, and vinegar, and you have like the equivalent of an expensive, organic, homemade mayonnaise. Way better for your pasta salads and way better for everything else.
We're not worried because we both